Welcome, Willacy County residents, to our first ever virtual community meeting. I'm Jamie.
And I'm G. You might recognize us from community meetings throughout the county over the last few months.
These are such strange times, and we hope everyone in Willacy County is safe and healthy.
We really wanted to be in Willacy County in person. In lieu, Jamie and I are 6 feet apart. We have our hand sanitizer, and I've only seen you, Jamie, in the last few months.
We're quarantine friends. So our program, Texas Target Communities, with our director, John Cooper, work with students across the Texas A&M University campus to provide a variety of needs to communities, to Texans. Everything you see today is student developed, but community driven.
And this evening, our goal is to share ideas and recommendations for the Willacy County Comprehensive Plan. So that means we really need your feedback, Willacy County residents.
So, G, what on earth is a comprehensive plan?
Yes, a comprehensive plan is a long-range planning guidebook, almost like a cookbook that guides development and growth in the county.
And it's our overarching image of where the community wants to be in the next 20 years.
And during this process, it's critical to hear the community's voice, maybe in public meetings like this, or maybe the ones that we had in person. And we can also hear voices through surveys, which we will be asking you to fill in about some time.
And once adopted, the plan will be a public document, and decisions within the Commissioner's Court will actually come from it.
And when decisions are based from a well thought out plan, the community can save money.
Yes, and you become more eligible for funding opportunities.
Now, before we move on further, the meeting will be for an hour. I know it can sound long, but we want to assure you it's going to go pretty fast, and this is going to be fun and exciting.
So get cozy, grab your dinner, maybe a beverage. We've got our popcorn and sodas ready.
And now to start off, we have our Willacy County Judge, Judge Guerra, with a short message encouraging Willacy County residents to participate.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aurelio Guerra, and I'm the county judge here in Willacy County. I want to thank Commissioner's Court for having the vision and for us to have moved forward with this comprehensive plan. I want to thank Texas A&M and also Texas Target Community for the work they've done. I want to thank Jessica as well. And for those of you that are out there, despite the fact that we're at home trying to deal with this terrible virus, we continue to move forward. We're very excited about the comprehensive plan, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the presentation, and more importantly, that you participate and give your input so that we can move forward as a community. Thank you, and enjoy the presentation.
Thank you, Judge Guerra and commissioners. We are excited for Willacy County residents to participate, so we have a little incentive for you. We want you to stay tuned this evening. We want you to fill out the survey link that we just posted on Facebook. It's also here on our wall. And if you complete it, you'll be entered to win a gift card.
Yes. Now, Kate DeGennaro with Texas Sea Grant will be here to talk about what we've done so far and give you a brief look into our timeline.
Howdy, everyone. I'm Kate. You may recognize me from various meetings throughout the county. I've been visiting and working with stakeholders for about 1.5 years now. You may be asking who gets to participate in this planning process that Jamie and G talked about. So I'll break that down into 3 tiers. You start off with a core planning team, which for Willacy County includes Jessica Gracita, the county community development specialist, Joasmi Thapa from Texas Target Communities, and Ashley Bennis and myself from Texas Sea Grant. There's also a planning task force, which consists of a variety of stakeholders, such as the AgriLife agents, members of the Chambers of Commerce, local farmers, healthcare workers, and more. The final and most important tier is the public, all the citizens of Willacy County. You are the foundation of this plan. We could not develop a plan that fits Willacy County if we did not hear from you regarding what you love about your community today and what you desire for your community's future. I also want to point out that the Texas A&M graduate students play a huge role in the process. They provide most of the content that is presented at our meetings, and they continually review the feedback from all the meetings so they can develop a plan that fits your community. Next, I'll go over the timeline for our planning process. In the summer, we started with a State of Community report that compiled US Census data regarding the population, housing, and the economy, and included information about community facilities, the environment, and hazards in your area. In November, the grad students presented the key facts from the State of Community report and facilitated an engagement activity so we could discuss what people valued in the community. The values were then incorporated into a vision statement for the plan, which I'll read at the end. In February, we held a few transportation meetings to discuss the gaps and opportunities regarding roads, public transit, pedestrians, and bikers. In March, the students presented their first round of big ideas. These ideas are the goals and recommendations that the students foresee for the future of Willacy County. They are based on all the feedback that was collected and analyzed from November to March. And that brings us to our meeting today, where the A&M students will discuss their second round of big ideas. So I'll just end with the plan's vision statement, which is the shared image of what the community wants to be. Willacy County embraces its unique cultural past, enhances the connection to the land and the sea, and prepares for the future by building a community that promotes vitality, health, well-being, and safety. And before I pass this presentation back to Jamie and G, I want to extend my gratitude to Judge Guerra, the county commissioners, Jessica Garcita, and the task force members. All have been truly supportive and instrumental during the planning process. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all again in person.
Thank you, Kate. That was a good overview of the process and a good start with the community vision.
Okay, now for the fun part, the county recommendations.
And in this first presentation, you're going to hear about development consideration, such as where can future growth and development grow? How can community protect their natural assets and farmlands?
Again, as you're watching, you can be commenting on Facebook Live. We want to be addressing your comments as you're talking, and so the next time we come up, we're going to be discussing some of your comments. And also, we want you to click on the survey link and give us your thoughts. And remember, by filling out the survey, you'll be entered to win for a chance to win a gift card.
And on Facebook, if you write some comment, we would love to hear where in Willacy you're from.
Okay, take a look at these future development options.
Howdy, everyone. This section provides guidance for future growth of Willacy County. It also provides recommendations to accommodate Willacy County's vision and growth. First, to study the current land use in Willacy County, we used national land cover from US Geographic Survey to define the developed areas, data intensity, and other data such as forest and farmland areas. As we can see in the map, Willacy County is mostly rural and based on agriculture. The green on the map represents agricultural land and forests, and red represents developed urban areas. About 1/5 of county's area face flood issues caused by inflow of storm water from neighboring county, mainly Hidalgo. Next, to determine whether specific area is suitable or unsuitable for specific use, we performed an analysis called land suitability analysis. Here, we considered the county's natural features, floodplain, wetlands, and existing features such as agricultural land, access to highway, and developed districts. We undertook three suitability analyses, namely future or urban transit area, agricultural land area, natural preservation. All these analysis maps are based on the major considerations of three principles: avoiding development in floodplain and storm surge zones and steep slope areas, capitalizing on the existing and available infrastructure by considering the proximity to the current roadway network and current development, avoiding development in current sensitive areas such as forests, national parks, and swamps. In our suitability analysis maps, red represents unsuitable and green represents suitable. So a gradient from red to green means gradient of suitability. Future or urban transition suitability analysis. This analysis helps to determine a safe and sustainable location for future development. As we can see in the map, the coastal areas are unsuitable for future growth due to storm surge and natural hazard events. Therefore, these areas may be better suited for recreational activities rather than for commercial or heavy industry. Agricultural land area suitability analysis. This analysis helps to determine suitable areas for agriculture and ranching activities. Here too, we can see that the coastal areas are unsuitable for agricultural purpose due to salinity, storm surge, and natural hazard events. Natural preservation area suitability analysis. This analysis helps to determine areas which must be preserved or can be used for some temporal tourism activities. We can see in the map that land closer to coast needs preservation. The study recommends that all areas fall within the floodplain and storm surge zones should be limited to some seasonal activities. Now let's know about land policy districts. These districts are classified based on the characteristics of land, what they are best suited for, and policies are recommended for each district. The size of these districts are directly responsive to population and job growth projections for 2040, the target year of this report. Before diving deep into policy district map, we would like to make you familiar with color scheme used in the map. Blue is wetland, green is natural preservation, yellow is agriculture, and red is existing development. Based on the analysis and community priorities of 4 districts are proposed, namely natural preservation, rural or agriculture, future or urban transition, opportunity zones. Natural preservation is to preserve valuable natural features of the county, lands prone to flood and wetlands, undeveloped shorelands. Forest comes under this policy district. Any development will be strictly restricted. This policy district is represented with green color in the map. Rural or agriculture is for agricultural, forest management, and mineral extraction purpose. Low-density single-family residence and low-density commercial and industrial development will be allowed in this policy district. It is represented with yellow color in the map. Future or urban transition to provide future urban development. This policy district will be adjacent to the developed areas where public utilities and services can be easily provided and shall not lie in hazardous or environmentally sensitive areas. Low to moderate density of development will be allowed. It is represented with red inclined hatched lines in the map. Opportunity zones is to encourage industrial activities such as wind turbine manufacturing and assembly, as well as local farm businesses. It is represented with pink horizontal hatch in the map. Zone A is for industries, while Zone B is for farmers market. Regulations for environmental friendly industries should be enforced to support renewable and clean energy industries. This section provides us insight on necessary development considerations for Willacy County based on suitability analysis. Now, let's move on to our next part, housing.
Okay, that was a lot. And we are really interested in your comments. Actually, we already got one comment on Facebook from Billy Mendoza from Lasara. He mentioned that he was interested in a Dollar General in Lasara and also looking at potentially a hospital in Raymondville. And I think those are some really great points.
Thank you, Billy, and rest of the Willacy County residents. Keep the comments coming. We'll be monitoring our Facebook feed and bringing up some of our comments. And we might have a little bit of lag in this live video and Facebook comments, but we'll try to get to you as much as possible. So up next, we will be looking into housing.
Okay, be looking for ideas to increase more affordable housing options in the county.
And here are some recommendations for your housing.
Howdy. The role of housing in Willacy County is an essential key factor to help prepare for the next 20 years. For many citizens, affordable and quality housing are a necessity for a vibrant and safe community. Therefore, community feedback, existing conditions of housing options, and common problems residents face within Willacy are key factors to uncover what is currently occurring in the county. Key practices such as current initiatives already active in the county, promoting vibrant and resilient neighborhoods, increasing and improving housing supply, and expanding development beyond city limits are further discussed to determine what best practices Willacy County may want to consider for future resilient housing development. The following section explains existing housing conditions in Willacy County. The county is home to 21,839 people. Majority of the people live in a single-family dwelling unit, and most of the population are located commonly around Raymondville and Lyford. About 21% of Willacy County's housing stock is vacant, which may mean houses that are not rented may be abandoned, unhabitable, in foreclosure, or only occupied for seasonal use. About 19% of homeowners and 35% of renters are cost burdened, meaning even though the median housing value in Willacy is less than the surrounding counties, residents may still have a difficult time affording a place to live. Residents in Willacy County expressed key concerns and suggestions during multiple community meetings, such as the need for affordable housing options, updated housing structures, revitalized and rehabilitated abandoned houses, improving safety measures, creating walkable spaces, and overall making the county more inviting. Goals and objectives and recommendations were then created based on the public feedback and existing conditions. Willacy County already has great initiatives occurring with multiple local and regional partners. It is recommended the county continues to support these programs, such as the Willacy County Housing Authority initiatives and the Casitas Los Olmos complex with Come Dream, Come Build and Building Community Workshop. The second goal suggests establishing neighborhood and city coalitions to create unique standards that follow the values of the city and its residents. This may help create cohesive communication and neighborhood knowledge. Another objective is to adhere to sustainable construction standards and help cities implement stronger building codes. Willacy County could also sponsor opportunities for community members to participate in efforts to improve, clean, repair, and beautify their neighborhoods, essentially creating a community-wide cleanup. The third recommendation focuses on increasing housing options and improving housing quality to address issues of housing affordability. The county should prioritize increasing and improving the single-family and multifamily housing stock, since some housing units are substandard. This can be accomplished through multiple dilapidated removal, relocation, and deconstruction options, as well as locating funding availability for homeowners and contractors. Creating a pro-development mindset may help attract potential developers. This includes marketing materials, an engaging website which highlights elements of the community, ordinances and processes that are transparent and do not hinder developers' schedules. Willacy County should also explore incentives for developers that include adding affordable housing in new developments, so that a percentage of units are at market rate prices and a percentage are priced less than 30% of the median household income. Another tactic is to incentivize and encourage developers to build middle-income housing, such as duplexes and townhomes. The county is encouraged to continue supporting current initiatives that are in place by the cities within Willacy that adhere to the Fair Housing Choice policy. Willacy County officials are recommended to implement a pro-development mindset, encourage development to occur in a grid-like and compact way to support walking, biking, and shorter commutes, as well as create shorter emergency response times to address public comments related to expanding development beyond city limits. When planning these new developments, it would be good to promote placemaking and add new amenities such as community gathering spaces and recreation opportunities. There are a variety of housing types to consider that support the goals previously mentioned. These different housing types include adding more middle housing, affordable and resilient manufactured homes, and single and multi-family dwelling units. Overall, this is a unique opportunity to discover what residents would like to see as potential housing in Willacy County. Thank you.
Okay, we already got some more comments on Facebook Live. Carlos basically was telling us about how he wanted to see more STEM school opportunities and maybe they're more involved in the community. I think if you continue tuning in, Carlos, you'll see in the environment section that there's some ideas that have been generated based on community feedback based on that sort of educational component. And we also, I think in the next section coming up, there'll be some more in the economy section, economic development section that talks a bit about that too. Also, Mary Lou mentioned that there's not really a grocery store options and really folks have to go out of town. So we've heard that in past community meetings. And so that is definitely something that we're folding into the plan.
Yeah, great comments. Thank you all. And we'd love to hear some more comments on Facebook and survey, so keep that coming. And in case you feel like you missed some part of the video, this video will be available for you to see after the live event. And also the website that you can see the students using for the presentation, that is also going to be available for you to look further.
Okay, next up, let's talk about that economic development. I feel like there's a strong entrepreneurial spirit and work ethic in the county.
We kept hearing people talk about their love for the culturally rich Willacy County, but we also heard how people want more jobs, more businesses, and a way to keep youth in the community.
So as you watch this presentation, keep your eye out for those ideas to utilize the different assets in Willacy. We want to hear your opinions on Facebook Live and also in the survey.
Economic development impacts almost every aspect of life for residents, workers, and visitors of Willacy County. Economic analysis helps identify current and future opportunities for the economy and its specific industries. Successful economic development strategies capitalize on historic strengths, cultural identity, natural resources, and ingenuity. This comprehensive planning process fosters an economic climate that better enables people to find success here in Willacy County without feeling like they need to seek those opportunities elsewhere. To inform the recommendations, we are using economic data and what we are hearing from the community. Willacy County does have its share of challenges. For the past 5 years, unemployment has crept steadily upward. Over a third of families are living in poverty. 4 out of 5 workers who live in Willacy County work outside of the county. There is good news. Since 2012, Willacy County has seen an annual growth rate of 11% in its gross domestic product, which puts it in 11th place among all of Texas's 254 counties. Folks from the community expressed concerns over young people moving away and the need for jobs. They also shared about the affordability of living in Willacy County, remarking, "Where else can you get a shrimp basket for $7? Willacy County needs a diversified economy that creates and sustains jobs here. A workforce is needed that has the necessary skills and opportunities to effectively compete and succeed in today's and tomorrow's jobs markets. Also needed is an economy that allows people to find good paying jobs here, take care of their families, and sustain future generations. People living and working in Willacy County is important to increasing the vitality of existing businesses and encouraging new business startups. Successful reinvestment and teamwork support future economic development. Seeing such success creates economic interest. Thus, Willacy County is better able to compete for new businesses and industries, which, in turn, expand the opportunities for the residents of Willacy County. Economic diversity with a balanced mix of traditional and opportunistic industries allows for communities to be better insulated from market variability. Traditional industries are those such as manufacturing, warehousing, construction, office, and transportation. Opportunistic industries are those that find their roots in entrepreneurial creativity, such as home-based business, ecotourism, and e-commerce. Coupled with sustainable farming practices and programs, Willacy County has the opportunity to set its own course towards prosperity, no matter how the economic winds blow. Residents of Willacy County want to be empowered and confident to successfully participate in the workforce. Improving education levels and job skills through new opportunities and partnerships with non-traditional learning and skills training is imperative. Convenient access to high-quality virtual learning saves time and money by eliminating the need to commute. As a large agricultural area, Willacy County is poised to become a leading innovator of sustainable practices in farming and rural development. The simpler ways of ancestor farmers, ranchers, and fishers can better feed people sustainably now and into the future. The assets of Port Mansfield, Laguna Madre, La Sal Vieja, and others can be leveraged to create opportunities for recreation and ecotourism in the rural and natural areas of the county. We want to invite folks to come live, work, and learn in Willacy County. Thank you for sharing your time. We look forward to continuing the conversation.
Okay, the comments keep rolling in, so this has been really great. Just to go back to Mary Lou's comment about the grocery store issue, within the economic development section, I hope that you see that they're striving to think about ways to utilize farmers markets, but I also think that with the spurred economic development, that might bring more grocery store chains and choices to the county. So that's kind of how we're seeing some of the links to the I guess grocery assets that are needed. We also saw a comment from Billy about a truck stop need. We do know that Highway 77 there is a huge, very critical arterial roadway for the region. And so I think that's something that should be considered. Hopefully, I think you'll see in the transportation section them talking about the number of vehicles on the road, the number of truck traffic that there actually is. So that information and that data is in the report as well. Bobby talks about the problem with floodwaters, and yes, that is a really good point and something that you're going to get a chance to learn a little bit more about, or validate some of the data that we have found and that students have found in the next section here. So beyond that, I guess I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on Willacy County being a leading innovator of sustainable practices in farming. So would love your input on that particular point on the comments as well as in the survey.
Right. And all of these comments kind of align with what we've been hearing in economic development, right?
Yeah.
So keep these comments coming. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So leave your comments on Facebook or check this official survey. In case this is not clear, Tara Goddard, she's a professor in our department here. She's been leaving the comment there with the link to this survey. So make sure you check that out. And for those of you from Willacy County who have been commenting and responding to our survey, you have just entered into a chance to win some prizes. We will get back to that later, but make sure everyone's responding to our survey or leaving your comments.
Okay, so to the environment section, this is something that we love about Willacy County. It's natural resources, the allure of the Gulf of Mexico. It's so serene and peaceful when we go. And we just love being in the natural environment every time we're there.
Oh yeah, and remember there was a community member who asked us to come for horseback riding in the beaches in Willacy County.
We should have done that. That would have been a first for Texas Target Communities for sure.
Indeed. Now here's a presentation in the environment section.
All right. Howdy, y'all. This section will cover planning for the environment in Willacy County. We will start by giving an overview on the existing conditions of the environment within the county. We'll then briefly discuss stakeholder feedback and immediate problems facing residents. We will then conclude with our team's recommendations. To briefly cover some existing environmental conditions in Willacy County, we're going to hit on a few things related to wildlife, water quality, and hazard mitigation. As you may know, regarding wildlife in the county, there are both federal and state protected species of reptiles, birds, mammals, and amphibians such as ocelots and loggerhead sea turtles. Regarding Willacy's water systems, Willacy County is unique in that it is the only county in Texas without any natural drainage features. No major rivers, streams, or lakes exist within or adjacent to the county. The Rio Grande is the major source of water supply for the 3 counties in the Rio Grande Valley region, including Willacy County. The reservoirs, wetlands, and aquifers are also important water features that need to be considered. Regarding local hazard mitigation, as you may be well aware because of the 2019 floods, the county is vulnerable to flooding, among other hazards. In our past meetings, Willacy County residents provided quite a bit of feedback on the environment. Willacy County residents desire the connection of the environment and the economy. They want the development of ecotourism industries related to the natural resources within Willacy County, opportunities for both adults and children to engage with nature in every community in Willacy throughout the calendar year, improved community health and safety initiatives through the county, and a dedicated increase in coastal and environmental literacy initiatives throughout the county. Now we'll cover our goals, objectives, and recommendations. Like the other topics, we use the existing conditions, input from the public feedback meetings, and other local plans to design our goals and objectives. In order to address the issues that were brought up, we have some potential action items from Willacy County. Generally, these recommendations revolve around 4 major goals of creating recreation space for the public to enjoy the environment, protecting natural resources, building resilience, and protecting Willacy's water supply. There are too many recommendations to cover in this presentation, but we'll cover one from every subtopic. For promoting access to parks and recreation, we recommend creating safe, inclusive open spaces with lighting and other park furniture. To do so, the county should update existing open spaces with adequate lighting and walkways, update parks to ADA standards with ramps and rails where necessary, and develop partnership agreements with service providers to provide Wi-Fi access in parks and recreation spaces. For protecting natural resources, we recommend continuing to support conservation and ecosystem management through public education and partnerships. To do so, the county should expand public education campaigns and partnerships on natural resource protection with schools and the Coastal Land Management Center. The county should partner with wildlife refuges to develop public education campaigns on the importance of the protection of important habitats and continue to build a culture of conservation through public-private partnerships. Regarding resilience, we recommend reducing flood vulnerability through the thoughtful management of open space. To do so, the county should acquire flood-prone land for flood abatement purposes, coordinate location of open space areas with existing plans for parks and open spaces across the county, and incorporate these open spaces for stormwater management into wider parks and rec facility inventory. Regarding protecting Willacy's water supply, we recommend expanding capabilities for wetland protection and watershed management. To do so, the county should acquire important land related to water resources to protect wetland and watershed areas. The county should commission studies on pollution and contamination in special areas and develop public education campaigns centered on limiting pollution and contamination of important water resources with selected stakeholder groups and the wider community. Thank you. That's all our recommendations. We look forward to hearing your feedback.
Okay, great. It's been really exciting reading all the comments while the video is rolling. It keeps us busy for sure. So just to go back to Bobby's comment about thinking that the La Salle Vieja would be a perfect spot for recreational use. So I think that's something that we're going to write down and have some conversations about. I'm not sure that's within the plan at this point. Also, Edward had a really good point about the sort of Willacy County Hospital District, maybe being like a health service district. I definitely know that that's something we need to be looking more into. I think over these last several weeks, since we were last in Willacy County, honestly, I've been in quarantine. So that's been a bit of time now. That was like March 6th.
That was the last
we had
time
our
we were
last
out.
meeting. So, you know, this global pandemic, I feel like really reveals a lot of insecurities that we have in our healthcare system. We would love to learn more about how it's been playing out down in the Valley. You know, we know what's been happening here in College Station, and so we're kind of learning as we're going. So let's keep thinking about ways to increase healthcare access in Willacy County. But to go back to the environment section, I really liked Carlos's comment about this idea of there being a school of marine biology. Because of the Gulf of Mexico being right there, because of the Laguna Madre and so many of the natural resources and assets that are there, I think that would be really interesting. Maybe there's an opportunity to partner with some of the schools down in the valley. And then Cindy had a great comment about updating the city park. And I know that's been on the minds of many residents. We had a lot of youth come to several of our public meetings. And some of the biggest things that they were talking about was how much they loved their sport and recreational activities, their youth sport things that they do. I mean, some of them showed up in like softball and baseball uniforms, and how they wanted to see more of that, or more opportunities for their families to just get out and enjoy the community and be active. So some really great comments coming through.
There's so many natural assets in Willacy County, and it's great you're putting it out there, and we just love this exchange happening in the comment section. All your input is so very important for this comprehensive plan, because this is your plan, and we're taking note of everything you're saying so that we can make sure we're thinking about it as we, you know, polish this plan further. Okay, now next up we have transportation. Transportation was a big topic in the meetings. We know how much you care about your roads and sidewalks.
We have heard the community's desire to have and maintain a safe and secure roadway system, not just for driving, but also for walking and biking as well.
Right. So as you watch this next presentation, keep an eye for updates that are being recommended for your roads, for your sidewalks, for your bus routes, as well as new hike and bike trails.
And we'll keep monitoring Facebook Live and, of course, be filling out that survey. So here are some ideas for transportation in Willacy County.
This section will cover the role of transportation in Willacy County. We will start by briefly touching on the existing conditions such as the roadway network, community feedback, and current issues to address immediate problems facing residents. We will conclude with recommendations which will highlight the proposed thoroughfare plan, bus routes, cross-section design, pedestrian and bike plan, and finally some major goals to improve transportation. It is crucial to note that transportation is vital for creating a vibrant, connected, and cohesive community. People often forget the impact transportation has towards the quality of life. Transportation is more than just building roads. It builds opportunity and binds communities together. Because of this, it is fundamental that we think about how transportation can best meet the needs of residents by finding alternative modes, expanding interconnectivity, and investing in technology. It's these concepts that make transportation important for Willacy County and why planning for the future is essential. Willacy County is rural and sparsely populated, relying mostly on automobiles, trucks, and freight rail to move people, goods, and services. County residents are heavily reliant on automobiles as their premier choice of travel. In 2017, it was recorded that 86% of all residents deem themselves automobile dependent. This reveals that the community lacks the necessary mobility options and infrastructure. Input from community meetings also emphasized that while Willacy County is connected with the current Valley Metro Transit service, trips are only possible through an on-call basis and transit connections are limited. Other existing concerns include the county's use of dirt and caliche roadways, a lack of sidewalk development, hiking and biking paths, and overall connectivity.
Overall, the goal of the plan is to create a more connected Willacy. The first transportation goal is to provide and promote a safe, affordable, and sustainable transportation network for all users, modes, goods, and services. The second transportation goal is to promote wide-ranging transportation services and alternative modes of transportation in Willacy County. Also included are potential funding sources for the recommended action items identified in the plan for Willacy County. To address the issues that were brought up, the plan proposes a number of transportation recommendations for Willacy County. The plan provides a recommended thoroughfare plan. The main goal is to plan for smooth and connected flow of traffic that may result from growth and economic development and preserve the aesthetics of the community. For this community, the main updates proposed are for State Highway 186 and County Road 2900. State Highway 186 classification is proposed to be updated to accommodate increased traffic as well as smoothing the curve on the eastern part of the roadway for increased safety. Paving County Road 2900 is also proposed to give an alternative route to State Highway 186. For concerns expressed related to transit, the plan recommends bus routes and park and ride stations through the community, with the routes running through Raymondville, Lyford, and Sebastian. These are just some initial recommendations, and future options can be explored if more transit options and land parcels become available. The plan encourages the community to work with other surrounding counties to ensure efficient public transit solutions to Willacy County. Another possible solution would be to implement ride-sharing options. The plan also includes recommended roadway cross sections. They incorporate complete street ideas that plan for transportation infrastructure to promote health and safety of the community by including accommodations for pedestrians and bicyclists to minimize conflicts between them and vehicles. Finally, the next plan proposed is the bike and pedestrian plan. It includes recommendations for bicycle and pedestrian travel to create an alternate mode of transportation for Willacy County to improve health and safety. One part creates a path that connects to major areas, Raymondville, Lyford, and Sebastian. And from the public meetings, it was conveyed that these were areas where bike paths were strongly desired. Another part concentrates in Port Mansfield and creates a path that encourages recreational tourism. The paths can allow for exploration of the unique nature surrounding Port Mansfield, connection to the shoreline, and accessibility for all.
Okay, we have been like very much in a flurry here looking at all your Facebook comments. So thank you so much. We're very much appreciating it. To go back to Billy's comment, he said that he really saw Raymondville as being the gateway to the valley. And I definitely feel that when we come into Raymondville, after that long stretch where there's not a lot of development at all, it definitely feels like you've arrived. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity with that natural arrival that occurs that can be folded into the plan and into what the transportation chapter specifically could do. So thank you for that comment. Some really good comments going from Angie and Judy, and one of our students, Abrina, actually commented on their comments. So lots of interest and excitement about more entertainment options, more community activities, farmers markets, which, you know, I think that's really an opportunity to support the local economy and those smaller markets and the people who live in the community. So I think that's a really important piece to the whole economic ecosystem. But more trails, more eco tours, more agricultural tours, discussion of RV parks for winter Texans, which I know is a huge economic boom for the region. So I think those are some really great points. And then as we shift a little bit and we think more about the healthcare, Billy wanted to kind of re-emphasize that there really needs to be a day and night clinic in Raymondville. I guess there's not that right now in the county. And so I think there's maybe some exploration on how that can actually be done. And birding upon birding upon birding. I mean, we saw Tara Goddard, who's the professor of one of the classes. She's a huge birder. So every time we went down there, she was very excited to see all the different types of species. So we definitely see that as an asset and an opportunity. So thank you. I see lots of different folks commenting. Angie, Juan, I think Miss Perez there as well. So
yeah, exciting opportunities in Willacy County. And you know, transportation connects it all, right? So what do you think of some of the specific recommendations, such as the proposed bus routes, or maybe the hike and bike ride station, or the hike and bike trail, park and ride station? So let us know if you have any specific thing that you think we missed in transportation section or any other section. Make sure you're going to the survey and leaving your thoughts.
Okay, so we are at our last set of recommendations. Air high five. Okay. Oh, we're going to be talking about community facilities. This is our last section here. So let's see what the students developed based on the community feedback for community facilities.
Howdy everyone. The focus of this section is on community facilities, including schools, healthcare facilities, government buildings, police and fire stations, and parks and open space. We will quickly scroll through some of the maps created to reflect existing conditions and encourage meeting participants to visit the website if they would like to spend more time with these maps. Research, site visits, and public feedback were conducted. It is clear from community feedback that Willacy residents take great pride in local heritage and culture. Additionally, residents highlighted how much they love the natural environment in Willacy. It is also clear that residents want more jobs, expanded healthcare services, and enhanced safety. Here are some quotes that reflect the overall themes of the public feedback. The first quote highlights a point that was made repeatedly, the limited availability of healthcare. The next quote is from community members who want to preserve the natural environment for the future. Then we see an appreciation for nature echoed in the next quote, where someone explains how they enjoy the local wildlife. Following this, we see a resident express the need to expand police and firefighting capacities. Finally, there is a quote that highlights the desire to celebrate heritage and culture. Based on research, site visits, and public feedback, 5 goals were crafted on how to enhance community facilities. Each goal is accompanied by objectives. First, let's talk about Goal 1, using community facilities to help foster economic growth. Here, it is suggested that some public buildings establish business centers, where new or struggling businesses can rent affordable office space and can receive business resources. Goal 2 calls to provide opportunities to live a healthy and active lifestyle. This goal focuses on improving parks and trails. Here, it is suggested that there is public participation in cleaning and maintaining trails. Goal 3 aims to highlight local culture and heritage and proposes the preservation of old and historic buildings. Additionally, it is proposed that there are more entertainment events like cultural festivals. Goal 4 calls to maintain infrastructure and build new community facilities. This means identifying where repairs and maintenance are most needed. The 5th and final goal aims to enhance safety of residents. The first action within this goal would be to increase health care services. This means establishing a 24-hour clinic so that residents can receive standard health care at any time and any day. Another action within Goal 5 calls to reduce the number of stray animals, especially dogs, so residents feel more safe playing, running, and gathering outside and can enjoy streets, trails, and parks. In conclusion, community facilities like libraries, parks, trails, and recreational centers help to bring the community together. Through the implementation of these recommendations, the lives of Willacy residents can become safer, healthier, more economically prosperous, and more connected to one another and the natural environment. Thank you.
Okay, oh my goodness, that wraps up all of the recommendations and videos that we're going to be playing this evening. I just want to point out a couple more comments that we've received so far. Sherry and Rebecca, as we kind of go back, because we have a little bit of lag here, so we're not getting to see your comments live. So anyways, but just to go back to the environment topic, Sherry and Rebecca were talking about loving to have hiking trails, native plants to help with the birding. I don't want to just call out one faculty member on being a bird nerd, but Bill Isley, another faculty member who's actually the transportation faculty, he's also a bird nerd and specifically would go to the county to do his birding. So anyways, birders all around. So I think it's definitely an asset. Judy, just to go back to transportation, talked to the need for more bicycling or bicycling options, biking trails. So I think that is really great too. And it kind of reminds me, going back to the environment topic, what Carlos said about maybe the STEM opportunities for kids, getting STEM more involved. I think maybe there's a connection with the natural assets and resources with the STEM component. And I know there's already a lot going on in the county on that topic. There's so many great current organizations and nonprofit groups that have been working on it. So I think it's a matter of what can we do to kind of uplift it and create some more opportunities. So yeah.
Birding, bicycling, Willacy sounds wonderful. Well, I think for the community facilities part, we've got quite a bit of comments already with your STEM opportunities, the hospital you talked about, and the entertainment areas. If there's some facilities that we might not have thought of, like new ideas, we're still open to hear some of those ideas. So make sure you go to the survey or leave it in the comment box. In the survey, you'll have a chance to, provide your feedback on all the different recommendations you've been hearing from the students, but also there's a space where you can leave your thoughts. New ideas, yes, please.
Yes, that's a really great point. So if you didn't have a chance to check out the full presentation today, or if you know someone in the community that didn't get a chance to watch tonight, you can still share this video through Facebook. We're also going to post it on our website, which is ttc.arch.tamu.edu. And you can go to the Willacy Updates link or tab, and we're going to have all sorts of information for you up there in the coming months.
Please remember, your voice really matters. Your input for this meeting, all the recommendations you've been hearing, all of it will inform the draft comprehensive plan. And once we have the draft, we're going to have another round of public feedback, a comment phase where you get a chance to say more about what you want. So we don't have a date for that yet, but stay tuned. Check out our website, stay connected with us, and you'll hear more on that.
So thank you so much, Willacy County residents. Thank you to the county staff and the elected officials, to Texas Sea Grant, to all of the students and faculty who participated from Texas A&M. There is such a welcoming spirit in the county, and there's this cultural pride that it just kind of exudes when you go. And we want to help make your vision a reality. So share the video, share the survey, get the word out, get involved. I think many hands make light work, and we can do it together.
Thank you so much.